Hey guys, I'm Colwen. Got another Transformers review. Today I'm talking about Power of the Primes, um, Dreadwing and Darkwing. I'm probably gonna get those names confused up at some point, so if I'm wrong, I apologize, but that's their names. Let's mix them up all we want, right? Power of the Primes really was, in a lot of ways, Combiner Wars Part 2, except for now they needed something called the Spark of Combination, or they needed a Prime to help them combine. And so they redesigned the hand accessories and feet accessories to work into that. Otherwise, the figures themselves really were a lot of rehashes of Combiner Wars. These two especially were just rehashes of the aerial bots, but they are cool in their own right, and they do go with some of their own cool little gimmicks. So, first of all, let's take his Power Prime armor off and close up his Prime port, and let's take his Power Prime as I begin breaking my toys, not even 2 minutes into the video. There we go. And these are the combiner hands, and you flip that out and you put them into the port, and you'd have the fingers and you'd have the thumbs, and this right here is part of the prime gimmick. And this thing is like, they never really say what this is meant to be. Is it a shield? Is it a blaster? Maybe it's a blaster. Really, we're just gonna take these things and stick them off to the side. Here's the Dreadwing one, and they really are. They're the same thing, just different color plastic. Mainly oh, you know what? This one is probably his, and this one's probably his. I just realized that. Doesn't matter though, because we're gonna take these and put them over here, and we're not even gonna bother with the limb modes for these guys. We're gonna talk about robot mode, vehicle mode, and combined vehicle mode. Yes, these guys do a combined vehicle mode. Let me go ahead and bring in Dreadwing here, and he's got a very straight, narrow profile. He's got the big old bird, he's got the big old airplane cockpit hanging out the back, and I like how he brings his wings down along his legs and gets them out of the way. He's got this very Cybertronian knight thing going on with that head sculpt. I like it. Nice purple and whites going on. Got these big old shoulders, and these can have weapons pegged into them if you're so inclined. And he's got ports on his arms. Does he have? He's got one port in the foot, and then his wings. He's got these missiles molded in the wings. That's really cool. They'll come more into play in vehicle mode. Got the prime port there if you want, and yeah, you can use his combined peg thing as like a big old chest gun if you want. Articulation, he's got swivel shoulders with the in and out shoulder. He's got an at the elbow swivel. He's got a soft, can you hear that? Nice soft ratcheted elbow. He's got this nice big bulky bluish teal gun. I like that big old gun. That's a fun looking gun. Does he have waist articulation? Yes, he's got a little tiny swivel waist down there. He's got ball jointed hips. He's got an at the knee swivel. That's supposed to stay together because the knee is right there. Nothing really at the ankle. Nothing at all at the ankle, but they did mold it with a slight tilt to it so you can get that nice A pose going on. Combiner Wars and Power of the Prime Deluxes never had ankles because they had to make space for combiner stuff down there. Darkwing, again, because he's nice and dark and colored and all that. It's cool looking. He's got this nice, like, winged pilot robot helmet thing with the stripes or whatever for rank. I don't know military rank. And he's got that port there, and he can fold his head back and bring out the cannon if you want. And like this guy can do the cannon thing a little bit better because he can bring his head back in. That's kind of fun. He's got pretty much the same articulation as the other day. He does it differently though. He's got these hinges in the shoulder for transformation. Then he's bought ball jointed shoulders. He's got an at the elbow at the shoulder swivel. He's got soft ratcheted elbows, but you don't hear them ratchet, like, at all. He's got these small blaster guns that are meant to mount on his forearms, but he can hold them in his hands. Waist articulation, yeah, he got the same legs on both of them. In fact, I think really they share the same knees, all the same stuff. They just added remolded hinges on there for his wings. As far as his wings go, he's got a bunch of cool stuff you can do with them. You're meant to have them up like that, but you can bring them down there, and then they're ball jointed back there. So there's a bunch of cool stuff to do with his legs. I mean, not his legs, his wings. Yeah, that's them for their robot modes. They both look pretty good together. They both got good articulation. Comparisons. Here is Film Noir Spider-Man. Here is the car robots. Let's start with Dreadwing. I'm gonna go ahead and take his gun out of his hand and put it off to the side. Take his shoulder arms and straighten them out. Take his legs and straighten them out. He does a lot of weird things. So first, there's these swivels on his shoulder sides. You're going to use those to bring the arms down. Put the arms out of the way. Then take the nose cone, open it up away, turn the head, and bring the nose cone down, and that's going to cover up the head. Come back here to the legs, and the legs, you're going to open on the back, and then put the wings out of the way. Put the wings out of the way. What am I seeing here? I'm seeing something weird here. Oh, that's for that. Okay, never mind. There's these hinges on the front of the knees. You're going to use these double hinge pieces, and you're going to swing the entire leg forwards actually. See what I'm doing here? Come on, bring it all the way like that. You see that? And then we can close the back of the legs and peg the legs together on either side. Now we've got the arms here. We got the wings way back there. And it does kind of look cool having the wings back there, but the wings have their own double hinge to bring forward. And then underneath the wing, there's this slot here that tabs onto the back of the shoulder. And these wings back here, these legs back here, tab into the sides of the arms. You see all that? And this is all just aerial bot design right here. This is just rehashing the aerial bots and just peg everything together. His wings can hinge if you want. Bring down the tail fins. And there we have him in his jet mode. And let's take this big gun, because he is a space jet. He's not. He flies around in space, not in atmosphere, so he can have a big old giant gun if he wants. We got these big old huge turbine. Don't know if these are turbine intakes or sometimes a high-powered blaster cannon, but they look intimidating. He's got the wings hanging off the edge, and like the white blends into the teal with the purple at the back end. It looks good. It looks good. No landing gear at all. Again, he's a space fighter jet thing, so he doesn't really need it. Let's bring in Darkwing here. Darkwing here has similar... the legs transform the same, but the backpack and the arms transform way differently. So let's bring the backpack away. Let's twist these things around on their ball joints and just leave them up out of the way. Leave that in there. Bring the head back down. Turn the head around and bring the nose cone down. And the nose cone is going to tab into the shoulders, and the head's going to kind of lift up. The head has its own hinge, so you're going to lift the head up into the underside of the nose cone there. I can actually leave the guns in place on this guy, so we're not going to bother with the guns. Let's take the legs, let's open them up, and using that double hinge thing. Come on. Hinge over. You gotta remember, I'm working this thing like, you know, a foot away from my body and like stretching my arms out, so you can't really get the right torsion on these parts sometimes, and just close the legs together. There we go. The arms, that weird hinge in there, and then this slot is going to go onto that tab. So hinge down, tab, hinge down, slot into tab. Then we can bring the wings back. And now we have him in his jet mode. And he's got kind of an F-14 Tomcat thing going on with the hinged wings and all that. And the intakes on the front. And yeah, absolute, both of them. Ton of robot kibble underneath. In fact, they look very similar on the underneath, don't they? But again, space jet. He doesn't need to have all the fancy things like other jets do. And let's take these guns and rotate them. Rotate them forward. And he's got the port on the back, just like this friend. And we got the hands off to the side, so we're not going to worry about the hands. But yeah, very cool looking. And if you want to, you can open up that chest plate and you can stick them on a display stand if you want to. They both have that option. So they look good together in their jet modes. Let's go ahead and stand them up on their backside so we can bring in Film Noir Spider-Man. We can bring in the cars. Almost done here. Almost done here. Now what we're going to do is the combined mode. And hopefully I do this correctly. So take this thing and rotate that all back. Open that up. Bring out this little tab here. And is that supposed to... Okay, so that just kind of just sits right there. Bring these forward on their ball joint swivel. Tab that back together again. And we're supposed to do this. Yeah, I might be doing this wrong. I kind of hope I am. I mean, I kind of like it. It's kind of cool looking, but we've got the head hanging up here out of nowhere. I'm sure if I... No, that doesn't really help. Can we stick it further up in there? No, not really. I think the G1 original version did it better, but yeah. I'm Colwen. I've been talking about Transformers, Power of the Primes, Darkwing, and Dreadwing. They're cool figures on their own. They got a cool robot mode. They got cool jet modes. Their combiner limb modes are run-of-the-mill. They're basically a rehash of the aerial bots. And their combined mode here, this... I don't know what this is supposed to be. If you're going to get these guys, get them for their vehicle mode and their robot mode. They're fun figures with weird optional side things that you don't need to mess around with. Honestly, I'll probably at some point throw these guys on my Skylinks and make a cool combiner that way. So... yeah, Colwen talking about Transformers, Power of the Prime, Sky, Darkwind, and Dreadwing. Thank you for watching. Check them out. I think they're good figures. Bye-bye.